Hello everyone and welcome to this special video that all starts with a box. If you watched my unboxing of the Battletech Mercenaries Kickstarter, you will be familiar with this box, or if you've already paused the video and read what's on the label on the front, you will be familiar with what's in this box. It is the Urbanmech company box. It is a box full of trash can mechs, and I mentioned during the unboxing of the Mercenaries Kickstarter, from which I got this, I had plans for these fun little guys. 3 lances worth, and I mentioned I wanted to do something silly with them, and that is going to be the purpose of this video. Hopefully cataloguing from start to finish my turning of this Urbanmech company into a sort of Nurgle themed zombie horde, as it were. Not doing any drastic like alterations to them, just with the colour scheme and the base, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm just going to catalogue the process and we'll see what we end up with. So they're all identical, we have 12 of them, and step 1 before anything else is going to be just to quickly give them a wash in some warm soapy water. So let's treat them with all the dignity that these trash cans deserve. So with that done, those are going to take a little bit of time to dry, but while I'm waiting on that happening, here is the spray paint that I'm going to use on all of them. Just batch spray them once they're dried. It is Citadel's Death Guard Green. I'm going for the Nurgle theme, so that seems apt, but you can use whatever colour you want, obviously, if you plan to follow along, or any shade of green. But this is the base I want to work off. Basically, from what I've learned from recently painting a bunch of Plague Marines, I'm kind of following what I did for that. So when we come back, there will be a horde of Death Guard Green trash cans. And there we have the spray painting done on all 12 of them. They're already starting to have that very zombie look. You will be infected by the Urbanmech virus. So I'm going to leave them there. They're going to take a while to dry, so it's probably going to be tomorrow for me that I pick this up with the more finer details and the actual painting process. But that'll be the good stuff, so I'll see you in a second, but for me it'll be 24 hours later. This video is sponsored by Noble Knight Games. Check out the video description below for an affiliate link that'll take you through to their store, and it will help me out as well. Thanks. Well, it is a new morning for me and I have the horde here ready to go, and it's all dry, and our next step is I'm going to give them a fairly liberal dry brushing of Niblet Green. Just any kind of light green would do. This is the one I'm going to specifically use. Going to be pretty heavy-handed with it. The washes we're going to use later are going to dull it down anyway, so don't worry too much about being aggressive with it. If you do it too strongly in one area to the point where like you want to undo it, just quickly dab it with a Q-tip or your finger if you don't mind getting messy, and that would certainly clean it up. So I'm going to be doing every step 12 times, but I'm going to be checking in with you, just showing each step I'm doing, building up on one of them more or less. But let's do this step and be back. And there we go, that is that step done, and next we're going to do a couple of little steps just prepping towards the absolute final step, which will be applying washes. I'm going to do the odd thing of doing the base first just because of what I planned for the base. We'll cover that when we get to it. Next step though is for all of these little Urbanmechs is I'm going to use some lead belcher. You can use any silver paint that you like, and that is just to pick out just certain little details on each of them. The barrels of their guns, where the shell casings would be ejected, and just any other little kind of joint parts. Just add a little bit of extra detail. It'll look out of place and very bright at first, don't worry about it. I'm going to dull that down as we go. So I'm going to do this for all 12, but I will show you specifically on one every little bit I get, and after that we will worry about things like the windows and what other plans I have for them. But yeah, let's get the silver done. And the silver step is done. Let's just pick one randomly, and the morning shadow is a little rough. Maybe try and get this in focus. Hopefully it is. That's the problem with this camera, it's casting a shadow over me here. But in terms of bits of the models, done silver, barrel of the gun, back of the gun, a little aiming reticule at the top, just a little bit of flavour for in certain areas where there's vents and stuff. This gun as well, and then at the back, actually there's some better light if I turn it down a little bit, there we are. And then at the back, just some exhausts again, the back of the joints of the knees there, and that is it. All 12 of those done. The next step is I'm going to do a little bit of brass scorpion as a kind of bronze look, just in a couple of areas on each of them, just for a little bit of eye-catching detail. So not too much at all. This is going to be a quick step. And there we have that part done. So in terms of what I picked out with the bronze scorpion, just a little bit on either side of the arm, a little bit on the shoulder pads, a little bit of kind of like the upside down V they've got in their like pelvis area, and then at the back just to have details. Again, when we eventually use the wash, it will kind of sink into all this and make it stand out, but also kind of blend with the green, so don't worry about it for now. So now it comes to just kind of like the little touches on each one of them, and then we're going to do the base, and then we're going to use a wash over everything including the base. That's my plan for it. You can have your own plan for your base if you ever want to do anything like this. So I'm going to do 2 steps, or 3 potentially, I haven't fully decided. I'm going to use just some grey cere to pick out the canopy windows of each of the Urbanmechs, and then I'm either, once that dries, going to make it be pink inside the canopies or yellow. I haven't quite decided yet, so I'm going to do that on the fly. Speaking of yellow, probably going to be Ironjaw's yellow that I use. If I change my mind, I'll definitely tell you in a second. And that is going to be used on the sensors on this side of each of them. And then probably Striking Scorpion green to have on the inside of there to imply they're like firing bile or slime or such. That is my plan, and I don't think there's anything else I want to touch up on them. If I do, I will let you know, but I'll be back with this particularly busy step done. So that is that step done, and I decided, again wrestling with the shadow of the camera, to do pink for the insides of the canopy. I did the Striking Scorpion green at the end of the gun there, and I used the Ironjaw's yellow there and there on all of them. And now they are basically done, other than the washes, which will help add to the definition we need. But I'm doing that last because of what I'm doing with their bases. For their bases, I am using AK's Plague Ground. And this is great stuff. Let me just shake it up for you. It is basically a cement. There we go. Looks like that. It's a bit too bright though, and I prefer a wash over it to kind of bring it down, make it look even murkier. But on its own, it already looks very slimy, so it's fun like that. So this stuff takes a long time to dry, a couple of hours at least. That's why I started recording this very early in the morning. Shadows are working against me, but had to make sure I had time for this to dry and still finish these today. So this is going to get slathered all over each of the trash cans bases. I'm going to leave them sitting for a while. I'll check in with you one last time prior to that, and then we will be on to the final step, which is wash plus going around the outsides, trim of the bases with just any black paint. So this is it. If you don't have any of this, you'll just have to do your own alternative, but this is what I'm going to be doing for them to make them look nice and nurgly. And one more check-in before the end, more or less. It's still drying, but I'm just showing you that is it applied. You want it to be a lumpy consistency because it's like a goopy Plague World base, so that is on purpose. The bigger the power you do, the longer it will take in most situations. So from this point, I will be coming back with everything done, so that means a large helping of Agrat's Earthshade over everything, including the base, which is why I have to wait until it dries. I will be using some Gamer Grass Alien Fire to apply just some detail with some roughs. Not 100% sure what sizes I'm going to use yet, we'll have to see. And then just a black paint. In my case, I'm just going to use a Baden Black for the outer rim of the bases. And maybe, as a treat, some Nurgle's Rot to have some extra slime in places. Apply that while the wash is still wet so it runs into it for a fun effect. So that is the plan, and I'll be back with the zombie horde completed. And here we have the finished company of 12 trash cats, Urbanmechs. 12 Urbanmechs done in a Nurgly-esque kind of scheme. They will infect you, and then you will want all the Urbanmechs you can get your hands on as they spread across each and every world they conquer and are just wonderful. So I did everything that I said I was going to do. Agrat's Earthshade over everything with the on top of the Plague World AK technical paint that I showed you. Just a bog standard black paint for the rims, and then those Alien Fire Gamer Grass tufts. of various sizes just to add some flair to them. Let's just pick one at random and give you a nice zoom. Too far. There we go, just to give you a little bit of a look. These little guys will get the job done unless you reach their preset kill limit, which in this case I guess is 12. But until then though, they will try and try. So just this was just a silly little thing I wanted to do with the company of Urbanmechs, because it's, you know, and where there is some Urbanmechs, there is undoubtedly more, such as, for instance, there we go, another one just appeared out of nowhere. This wasn't part of the company, this is just one I had sitting. It actually has a different side thingy, I think. No, maybe it's about the same. But either way, there's always more Urbanmechs, always more. And that is why they gave off the zombie horde vibe to me, because you either like Urbanmechs or you don't. I am in the like them. I like the trash cans, I think they're adorable. And this was just a silly little thing to do. I apologise for the lighting not being the best. It was supposed to be 2 sunny days in a row. It was sunny yesterday when I did the spray painting and all that good stuff. It was meant to be sunny today, and it was not, which made it very difficult to film. Either way, I'll post some photos on Blue Sky of these to get a good look at them as well, and I'll talk a bit more, well, I'll show them off again in ideally better lighting next time I film getting stuff painted. I hope you enjoyed checking out this silly little project. If you have any questions, queries, etc., or anything I forgot to cover with what I did to them, I'll happily answer in the comments. But either way, hope you enjoyed this silly little thing, and see you next time. Ta-da for now.